Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a book that's, well, it's a bit of a mind-bender. It claims there's this whole secret history hiding in plain sight, woven into the symbols, the logos, and even the coffee we drink every day.
So what on earth does that mean? Well, let's just start with a symbol that most of us see every single day. Maybe you even held it in your hand this morning.
Okay, check this out. On the left, you've got this old-school drawing of Melusine. She's a twin-tailed princess from European folklore. And on the right, well, you know who that is, the Starbucks siren. I mean, the resemblance is pretty wild, and according to the book we're looking at today, that is absolutely not a coincidence. Because this book we're exploring, An Initiate's Guide to the Path of the Dragon, says she's not just some random mermaid. Nope, she's a dragon queen, a descendant of a super powerful lineage. So you see, this whole thing goes way beyond coffee. It's about a hidden history that connects everything, and the key to it all is the symbol of the dragon.
So let's get into it. Over the next few minutes, we're going to unpack what this book calls the Path of the Dragon. It's this idea of a hidden global legacy, one that it says goes all the way back to the dawn of time.
All right, first things first. When we say dragon, what are we actually talking about? Well, according to our source, you can forget the scales and the fire breathing. That's not it at all. The dragon is really just a name for a primal, universal energy, literally the force that created everything.
The book calls it the Dragon Force, and it's described as this super high-frequency energy that makes up, well, the entire universe. And, this isn't a new idea. It's called Kundalini in the East, Far in ancient Persia. Some just call it cosmic fire. But the key thing is, this force is said to have three main parts to it.
And here's a great way to think about it. The book points to the sea god Neptune and says, hey, he's actually a primal dragon. And that famous trident he's always holding, it's not just for show. Each of those three prongs represents one of the powers of this cosmic fire: creation, preservation, and destruction. Okay, so if this force is so important, how did people keep the knowledge alive through all of history? Well, the book argues it wasn't just some abstract idea. It was a real, tangible thing, a spiritual and even a biological inheritance. And it was passed down through very specific families, what the book calls dragon bloodlines, the keepers of the flame. And when you see who's on this list, it's pretty wild. The book connects cultures you'd never think to put together. You've got the royal Scythians from Central Asia, the Egyptian pharaohs, then you jump to the Merovingian kings of France, the Picts in Scotland, and it even includes the family line of, get this, Dracula. And the book tries to connect the dots. It points to someone like Pharaoh Akhenaten, the one with the really unique kind of androgynous look. It claims that look signifies his mastery of this dragon energy. Then it says his bloodline, a mix of Egyptian and Scythian, was passed all the way down to those mysterious Merovingian kings in France, and their descendants, like the House of De Vere, are still using the dragon in their family crest today. From there, the supposed lineage moves into Eastern Europe. What you're looking at here is the coat of arms from a member of the Order of the Dragon. It was a real knightly order back in the 1400s, and its most famous member was a guy named Vlad II. He was so important they gave him the name Dracul, which literally means the dragon. And his son, well, that was Vlad III, who we all know as Dracula. So this is where the Dracula story gets a complete reboot. The book suggests that the whole vampire legend isn't what we think. It wasn't about him drinking the blood of peasants. It was a twisted version of a secret, ancient practice, a kind of alchemy where they'd consume this substance called starfire, this incredibly potent life force, all to keep their dragon bloodline pure and strong. So if they had all this secret knowledge, how do they pass it down? According to the book, it was all done through these secret schools of alchemy, and these schools were apparently split into two very different paths. The book breaks it down into the right-hand path and the left-hand path. The right-hand path, that's described as what most mainstream religions are based on. You have a sacred book, you follow a strict set of rules. The left-hand path, on the other hand, is the dragon tradition. It's all about intuition, about having a direct personal experience to find knowledge for yourself. And this left-hand path, well, it was supposedly taught in all sorts of secret societies. The book connects some really big names to this tradition: the Knights Templar, the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons. It basically presents them as the keepers of these ancient dragon secrets in the modern world. But here's the thing, this dragon force isn't just inside people. The book claims it's also in the earth itself.
It's this idea that the cosmic fire is concentrated in very specific spots all over the planet, creating this massive energy grid of what it calls dragon layers.
Take North America, for instance. The book actually maps out this whole grid of energy lines. You might have heard of them as ley lines. It says that places like Sedona and the Grand Tetons are like the planet's chakras, and that Mount Shasta is the big one, the heart chakra of the whole continent.
And over in Europe, it's the same story. The network is supposedly anchored by ancient spots like Stonehenge, but also by famous Gothic cathedrals like Notre Dame. And get this, the book claims the Knights Templars built these cathedrals in those exact locations on purpose to tap into and harness the Dragon Force. So what you end up with is this global system connecting some of the most incredible sites on the planet. We're talking the pyramids in Egypt, Stonehenge, and even places you might not have heard of, like the newly discovered pyramids in Bosnia. The book basically says they're all just different points on one giant, interconnected energy grid.
Now, it's really important to get this. This isn't just about ancient history. The whole point of the book, its central argument, is that the path of the dragon is a living, breathing tradition that is still going on right now. It's trying to weave this single, unbroken thread through all of history. It connects this primal energy of creation to ancient dragon kings, to the secret wisdom of the Templars, and brings it right up to today, to the symbols hiding in our everyday corporate logos. So this timeline really spells out the whole story, right? The path of the dragon is framed as one continuous narrative. It starts with this cosmic bang, this creative energy. It flows through history in certain families and powerful places. It gets protected by secret societies. And, according to the book, it's still here, working away just beneath the surface of what we see every day.
Look, we've barely even scratched the surface of this massive alternative history. But it really does leave you with a fascinating question, doesn't it? What other things that we see every day, logos, stories, even places, might have a whole other secret history, just waiting for someone to figure it out?